Axie Infinity is in danger, and this is a video I've been wanting to make for a while. I know that a lot of you aren't going to be too happy with this one, but I feel like sometimes as an investor and, as a friend, as a content creator, I do have to have some level of transparency on how I feel, how my opinions have shifted and changed over the past few months regarding Axie Infinity. I am an Axie Infinity and NFT content creator. I do have other major investments in other things, but recently I've been really dialing it back on Axie Infinity because of a few issues which I feel like may be bringing this game to a slow crawl versus what it had in its explosive initial growth over in July. So with that being said, I really just kind of want to get into this. I have a lot of questions that if you're watching this video, G-Hose, share this to him. I'd really want some answers on because I feel like these are the questions that from an early investor, obviously not really early investor, but from somebody that's been investing since around June, which is right before the giant explosive growth in Axie Infinity. I've had the time with over 50 scholars to really digest and get a position on what's going on with Axie Infinity, how the economy is run, and what other people are thinking about. So with that being said, let's just get into it. I don't really want to waste time here. I know a lot of people that, they're not going to agree because a lot of content creators, they're kind of just in one position. They're just agreeing with everything. But I feel like in Classy Axie, it's very important to be transparent. And I love this game. To be honest, I feel like I wish this game would last for decades on decades. And I support the movement. We wouldn't have 50 scholars and we wouldn't be actively trying to grow our Axie Mania guild and changing more lives in the Philippines without this game. So my first question here is on the development updates. Now, okay, on the December development update, I'll show you guys here. They had their anticipation for Project K, which is the land update, and it was a demo that was live December 10th. Now, this was anticipated from the Axie Infinity community from what I've read for years before that. They've been developing for this for years, and they had the land demo in December 10th of last year. Now, my question for G-Hose is, why do we not have land gameplay? What is stopping land gameplay from coming? Right now, as in the position of somebody that isn't a coder in the blockchain, I obviously am completely oblivious as to all the complications that may go through the land update. But just understanding what exactly is going on, I feel is better in a development update than what you guys have been doing so far. So the big issue, I understand you guys are community run and community growth is important, and I agree with that. I think that's the best method of growth, organic growth. However, I think that you need to provide more information so that we, the community, can grow your game faster, and easier. There's really just not that much to talk about when you go into a development update and you're kind of just like, guys, we had another record-breaking month. We have Project K. Cool. February update. We have progress on Battles V2 that has accelerated. We're doing this. Well, guess what happened? It's September. Development on Battles V2 and LAN is also accelerating. These are great, okay? And I'm glad that you're doing this, that you're at least letting us know that this is accelerating. But, you have to tell us exactly, how much it's accelerating by. Because, you could be accelerating by a few months. You could be accelerating by a few minutes. You could just be accelerating by a few years, but it's taking, 6 decades to finish. So a little transparency on how long it's really going to take is very important, I feel, in the Axie Infinity community, because I understand that in your game, you want this to be a long-term thing with esports and all this. But, at the end of the day, people are investors and some people are even putting their life savings into this game. And I understand that you're in the whole mentality of, invest what you can lose. But a lot of these people are investors, and Filipino people from all over the world are using this game to fund their lives. This is life-changing, and you understand the ramifications of what will happen if Axie Infinity goes to the ground. So just being a little more transparent on exactly what you're doing on Battles V2 or land would be incredible. Now, I understand, like you said, you were working on the last chapter of PV. Give me some photos. Give me some photos to work with. I understand you had this one picture, but just a few leaks, tell me how many people are working on this, because you put the team is putting a lot of thought and effort. But what are you putting into it? What's the thought and effort? Can I have a photo of maybe a boss in the new PV adventure mode? What that's going to look like in terms of rewards? Just small little sneak peeks so that people can be a little more hyped on your product. Because at the moment, there's not really much to work off of. You said you finished about 70% of the new card art. But if I go all the way to the February update, you were talking about Battles V2. So I don't really know how to feel too I don't know how to feel good about this, because I can't feel good about this if there just isn't enough to work off of in terms of not only content, but in terms of as an investor, how can I feel confident in your product if every time I go to a YouTube video, it's just saying, hey guys, SLP has dipped over 70% from its all-time high, but don't worry guys, once this land update comes out, it's going to be great. Don't worry guys, once this run index update comes out, we're going to be just fine. It's not true. So because if you release the run index, yes, it'll have a short-term pump, because that's what happens, right? Ease of access does create a pump, but we do not need this in the Axie economy. This isn't what's going to fix the game. You releasing the run index, yes, it's going to have, it's going to give the game a few more months, maybe, if even, maybe a few weeks. That's not what the pressing matter is, and that's not what people are focused on. People are focused on more burning methods, At the end of the day, I do not care what AXS's price is at. As an investor, as somebody who views Axie Infinity in the long term, I think of SLP token. And why I think of SLP token is because SLP is the only reason that this game even blew up in the first place. Without SLP, this game would be nothing. All the Filipino people who have had the opportunity, including me, I'm American, but I'm ever so grateful for the Axie Infinity founders to have created this game in the first place. I've been fortunate enough to start early, but I feel like a lot of these new investors, they're going into a world in which SLP is down over 70%, and they're not sure whether or not this is just going to continue to decline. And you telling them that, hey, we're not really focused on the breeding aspect, or we don't really care about this, it's not reassuring. I don't need the market cap for SLP token to go up another 200 million and for the price to be 4 cents. I don't need that in my life. I don't need the price of Axies to go down. Now, I understand if you want to slow down the ROI, you need to be more transparent in where you're trying to, put the game. Because if you're trying to tell me, okay, I want to keep SLP price at around 20 cents. This is what we're going to be doing to try to do this. Okay, I'm okay with that. Now, if you're going to do something like, hey, we're trying to pivot toward land gameplay is the big thing. Now, land gameplay is going to come out around this time specifically. And here are some of the things that we've done for land gameplay to hype people up. Because you just saying that land gameplay is coming, but if I go to a December development update that had a demo of land gameplay last year, then I don't know what you're doing right now. Why has this been going on for over a year? And it's been anticipated for years, but we just haven't gotten a live version of it. Maybe you explaining that would bring up some hype for the game. More than anything, I'd love to have you on here to speak to you personally, to speak about these things, because these are concerns from SLP investors and SLP holders and literally everybody in the ecosystem, because the Filipinos are what made this happen. You need to realize that people are investing a significant amount of capital, and it's affecting investors' confidence when you're just not doing as many announcements as what you should be doing. I understand that you came from a company, it wasn't worth too much. You guys had millions of dollars still, but Axie Infinity token, obviously, it's had its shoot up, and we're over at God knows how much, 4 billion market cap with a fully diluted, in a few years of 18 billion. I'm okay with this, and I'm very happy. But, you don't only have to pivot toward AXS token. If you want that short-term relief to give your game a little bit more life until that land gameplay comes out, why are you so focused on AXS token? I understand that you're making money off of this, and this is how you make investors happier. But come on, what about the people that are just trying to get into this game to have some fun and to just not lose all their money the second that they put their money in? It's not cool when this thing goes down 30-40% in a month and you don't say anything about it. You just say, hey guys, we're just not focusing on it. It's kind of like, guys, we have to address the fact that SLP just needs to make up the entire bulk of it. SLP was made for the specific purpose of breeding, and the fact that it isn't the entire cost of breeding doesn't make any sense. Now, I get AXS token, it's a scarcity token, and you want to pump its price because, you just want more money, and you're putting the AXS in the pool. But, right now, we're kind of in emergency lockdown mode, and we need to, realize the fact that 2 AXS is way too much. You need to either put it at 1 AXS, or you need to put it at 0 AXS until land gameplay comes out, and then go ahead when you do your AXS staking or whatever, you could put that back into life. But right now, I mean, unless you want to just be putting more money into your pockets, if you don't care about the community, then this stance is okay for you, right? Because you could just keep it at 2xs, keep pumping the price of Axie Infinity. Go ahead, sell your tokens or whatever. But you guys, I mean, I've looked at your white paper, and you guys are saying that you're dedicated to this, and your, unlock schedule is gradual over 4.5 years. You have 21% of the total supply. If we look at 56 million tokens, even if you've got half of that, you guys have billions of dollars. And I don't understand why when you say that something's accelerating, it's not really accelerating, because it could just take longer. I mean, you guys said in the February dev update that it was coming out. It's just not happening. If we look at the March update, it's the same thing. We hit new highs. Axie in May, growth has skyrocketed. You guys are focusing a lot on the money that you're making, and you're not focusing a lot on the development update that you're supposed to be focusing on. I think that's essentially what I've been wanting to say. I mean, I don't understand why the Ronin Dex and AXS staking is being prioritized over land gameplay. Personally, I feel like the lifeline of Axie Infinity lies on that land gameplay, and just a tiny bit more clarification and transparency from exactly what Sky Mavis is spending their money on, because they have a lot of tokens. It would go miles for content creators and for everybody in the Axie Infinity community. I mean, you just tell me, like, I spent 300 million this month on exactly this, we paid this guy, or we got 20 new employees, I mean, welcome this guy. That would go miles. If you show some of the new card art that we've been working on, I would be more than happy as an investor to continue to invest in your game. And it's one of the big reasons that I really personally, I mean, I know a lot of people that are like me, that we have a little bit in Axie Infinity. Like, I had a lot of money in Axie Infinity. I pulled out a lot of it in profits over early August. And now I have a few scholars, right? But I mean, like, from an investor standpoint, I don't want to put more money into this game until a lot of these issues are addressed. Because right now it kind of looks like, hey, we're just stalling and we're just really not caring about what investors think. We're just trying to pump the AXS price and then just sell it when the game slowly dies. I mean, that's what it looks like right now. I would really like to know about your opinions in the comment section. And, if Jihos, you're watching this, I'd love to have you on and talk with you. Now, I love this game. I want to reiterate that, and I really like the project, and I really hope that it continues to grow and I can make content on this for years to come. I mean, like, I've been playing since June, and I've never been so reinvigorated in the gaming space. I used to be League of Legends Challenger player, and I played the heck out of that game, and it did not give me the even close level amount of fun. And it's just because it's a community here. In League of Legends, everybody was toxic. Here, everybody's the best. You guys are the best, okay? So that's going to be pretty much it. Stay safe, stay classy, and I hope that this video really just does an impact for Axie Infinity. Thank you very much for watching.